Hey y'all, it's Bear. Look here, I was grocery shopping this week and I saw this new item from Zatarain's. And I was like, man, that would be perfect for doing some freezer bag cooking and a budget meal. They've got 4 flavors. I've got the salsa verde and the Parmesan garlic. This is their new Garden District Kitchen line. And they have 4 flavors. I took some pictures of the other ones. I'll roll them in now. Alright, so you got those 4 to pick from. And I'm thinking I can cook those up in a freezer bag. So I brought along with me today my Reflectix koozie and a freezer bag. So we're just going to boil up some water real quick. And you know, a lot of people have been asking me about the alcohol stoves, and this is a couple of mine. I've got a whole box full of alcohol stoves. This is one I made, this one I bought, and this is perfect for that. This is what I use my alcohol stoves for, is just to boil up some water. But honestly, for the most part, I don't use an alcohol stove. So I'll show you what I use today, which is this esbit stove. Now, me, just because of where I'm at in life, I'm not out through hiking and having to get whatever fuel I can put my hands on at the local stores and whatnot. So when I go out backpacking, I'm usually only out for a few days. And I like this option. I don't have to worry about any liquid, any alcohol spilling in my pack. It's got this stove. We're just going to toss the Canteen cup today because I'm going to heat it up in the esbit stove, or in the esbit cup here. And it uses the solid fuel tabs here, which some people will tell you have a smell, and they do. They've got a smell. That's the worst thing about them. But when I'm out backpacking for a weekend, I just count out how many tabs I need, how many boils I'm going to do for meals, and maybe I'll throw 2 extra in the cup in case I need them for something else. And this is how I roll when I'm backpacking most of the time. Sometimes I'll take my alcohol stoves, but not much. So I drop my cube in, I drop a match on it, that lights the cube. Now, from what I learned in freezer bag cooking some instant rice, it doesn't need quite as much water as what you would normally use on the stovetop. So this calls for 1.5 cups. I'm going to go about 1.33 cups. And that's one thing about this pot here, it's got your measurements inside of it. I'll have to do a little quick review of this. This is what I like to use. So we're just going to put that on there. That'll get that boiling. I'm going to try the Parmesan garlic. It's brown rice with white beans. And it looks like a box has 2 servings. It's got, each serving's about 300 calories. So, you know, doing the whole bag, that's a good meal. Or you can split this down and put something with it. And the instructions say to boil this for 10 minutes. So once we put it in the Reflectix koozie, I'm going to let it hang out for about 20 to 30 minutes. And one of the reasons I don't do a lot of Canteen Cup Tuesdays with alcohol stoves is I don't have one with a simmer ring. And so when I'm cooking, I like to be able to control my heat. That's why I use some of my other stoves. Alcohol stoves, you know, it's just one heat. It's just on, it's wide open. So you gotta mess with it a lot more, you know, kind of hold your pot to adjust your heat, and it just makes it difficult when I'm trying to shoot a video, that's all. You could do it. Or if you get one with a simmer ring, it would be just that much easier. I find alcohol stoves come with a bit of a learning curve though. So, you know, there's that also. And honestly, I don't have that much experience cooking on the alcohol stove. Like I said, I only use them to boil water. But, you know, I've got one that's made out of some bigger, I've got one that's made out of some bigger cans that'll hold a couple ounces of alcohol. And that's enough for me to bring some water to a boil and enough time to then boil up some noodles. So I've done a little bit of cooking with that one. And typical of most alcohol stoves, you know, you're going to have your stove, you're going to put your cook pot on, and then you're going to have a windscreen. This is my little DIY windscreen. And I just took a Foster's can, a big Foster's can, and I cut strips out of it. One of them's taller than the other. That way I just have it paper clipped together. And that way I have a little air gap there so it can get oxygen to the fire. You don't want to choke it out, just kind of protect it and concentrate the heat. So it would look something like that. But I like this little esbit stove set. It all collapses down into the cook pot. It's got enough space in there for me to put a weekend's worth of esbit cubes in it to boil water with. And it's all I need. It's easy and convenient. As long as you have a little breeze through camp, you don't have to smell it too much. Oh, there we go. We got a boil. Alright, put that in the old koozie. And we'll see in about 25 minutes or so. Once I get done bringing my water to a boil, I like to use a little bit of cube that's left to dry my pot and lid. There we go. Now once that burns out, everything will go up dry. Hey, did y'all see that other pasta we cooked up while we're waiting on this? If you didn't, go back and watch it. It's the lemon poppy seed pasta. It's gonna be good. But let's see what this looks like. Oh yeah, looks like we're hydrating up pretty good. We've soaked up most of that water. You know, if I was at camp, at this point, I'm like going long spork mode here. And we're gonna dig in and eat. But let's pour it out and see what we've got. Let's see what Zatarain's is gonna do for us here. Again, I cut my water back just a hair from their recommendation. Man, it's looking good, y'all. That's a good ratio to bean to rice. What you think? Should we try it out? Let's try it out. Alright, let's see what we've got, y'all. We hydrate up. Shoot, yeah, man. There you go, there's a meal. You know, for less than $3 versus your mountain house, it's, you know, $6 to $12. We got a meal in the freezer bag. Man, that's really good, y'all. This is a great idea. I'm glad Zatarain's came out with this. And you know, that's a clue for you. This is a new product. So if you don't grocery shop, go with the person that does every now and again and just see what you see on the shelves. See what you can take with you. And if you do go grocery shopping, keep an eye out for the new stuff. See what you can use out there camping. Well, there we go. We'll see you on the trail.